Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Jane's Fleet Command as we continue with the reference materials. Today we have Malaysia, so this is going to be a really short episode. Starting with the surface ships, we have the Laku FFG, Publication Jane's Fighting Ships, Section Frigates, Country Malaysia. Title Laku Class FFG, specifications, displacement 2,270 tons full load, length 346 feet, beam 42 feet, Trout 11.8 feet, speed 28 knots, range 5,000 nautical miles at 14 knots, complement 146, of which 18 are officers. Main machinery, combined diesel and diesel, 4 MTU 20B 1163 TB93 diesels, producing 33,300 horsepower, or 24.5 megawatts sustained, powering 2 shafts, and Kamewa CP props. Armament and electronics, missiles, SSM, 8 MM40 Exocet Block 2 missiles with inertial cruise and active radar homing to 40 nautical miles at Mach 0.9 and sea-skimming capability. SAM, VLS Seawolf, 16 launchers, command line of sight, CLOS, radar and TV tracking to 3.3 nautical miles at Mach 2.5. Guns, 157mm 70 caliber SAK Mark II with up to 75 degrees elevation, firing at 220 rounds per minute to 9.3 nautical miles, and 2 30mm DS-30B guns with up to 80 degrees elevation, firing at 650 rounds per minute to 5.4 nautical miles. Torpedoes, 6 324mm tubes and 2 triple mounts holding anti-submarine torpedoes. Countermeasures, decoys, 2 12-barreled launchers for chaff, sea siren torpedo decoy, ESM and ECM, the EMI Scimitar for intercept and jamming. Radars, Air Search, DA08 operating in the E and F bands. Surface Search, Sea Draft 150HC operating in the G and H bands. Navigation, Recall operating in the I band. Fire Control, 2 1802s operating in the I and J band. Helicopters, 1 Wasp HAS-1 or Lynx HAS-3 or HMA-8. And 2 are active, the Laku and the Jabba. And they actually look pretty modern. Given the photo here, here is the 3D model. You can see the VLS cells up front for their Seawolf system. The Katsuri FSG, Publication Jane's Fighting Ships, Section Corvettes, Country Malaysia. Title Katsuri, Type FS 1500 Class FSG. Specifications, displacement 1,850 tons full load, length 319.1 feet, beam 37.1 feet, draught 11.5 feet, speed 28 knots or 18 knots on 2 diesels. Range 3,000 nautical miles at 18 knots, 5,000 nautical miles at 14 knots. Complement 124, of which 13 are officers. Main machinery, 4 MTU 20B 1163 TB92 diesels producing 23,400 horsepower or 17.2 megawatts sustained, powering 2 shafts. Armament and electronics, missiles, SSM, 4 MM38 Exocet cruise missiles with inertial cruise and active radar homing to 23 nautical miles at Mach 0.9 and sea-skimming capabilities. Guns, 1 3.9-inch 100mm 55 caliber Mark II compact with up to 80 degrees elevation, firing at 20, 45, or 90 rounds per minute to 9.2 nautical miles in the anti-surface roll or 3.2 nautical miles in the anti-aircraft roll. 1 57mm 70 caliber gun with up to 75 degrees elevation, firing at 200 rounds per minute to 9.2 nautical miles. Launchers for illuminants, and 4 30mm guns and 2 twin mountings with up to 80 degrees elevation, firing at 1,200 rounds per minute combined to 3.2 nautical miles. Anti-submarine mortars, 1 375mm twin trainable launcher, automatic loading, range 3,600 meters. Countermeasures, decoys, 2 CSE doggy trainable systems, replaceable containers for IR or chaff. ESM, an MEL Rapids for radar intercept, ECM, an MEL Scimitar for jamming, radars, air and surface search, the DA08 operating in the F-band with a range of 110 nautical miles for a 2-meter square target, navigation, TM1226C operating in the I-band, fire control, WM22 operating in the I and J bands to a range of 25 nautical miles, IFF, the US Mark 10, sonars, DSQS-21C, hull-mounted active search and attack, helicopters, platform for 1 Westland Wasp HAS-1. 2 are active, the Katsuri and the Lakur. Here is a photo and the 3D model. And then we have the Perdana PCFG, Publication Jane's Fighting Ships, Section Patrol Forces, Country Malaysia, Title Perdana or La Combate 2 Class Fast Attack Craft Missile or PCFG. Specifications: displacement 265 tons full load, length 154.2 feet, beam 23.1 feet, draught 12.8 feet. Excuse me. Speed 36.5 knots, range 800 nautical miles at 25 knots or 1800 nautical miles at 15 knots. Complement 30, of which 4 officers, main machinery, 4 MTU MB 870 diesels, producing 14,000 horsepower or 10.3 megawatts, powering 4 shafts. Armament and electronics, missiles, SSM, 2 MM38 Exocet with inertial cruise and active radar homing to 23 nautical miles at Mach 0.9 and sea skimming capability. Not always carried. That's interesting since that missile is the primary armament of this craft, but guns, 157mm 70 caliber gun with up to 75 degrees elevation, firing 200 rounds per minute to 9.2 nautical miles, and one 40mm 70 caliber gun with up to 90 degrees elevation, firing 300 rounds per minute to 6.5 nautical miles in the anti-surface role and 2.2 nautical miles in the anti-aircraft role. Countermeasures: decoys, 4 57mm chaff and flare launchers, ESM, French type, radar warning, radars, air and surface search, THD 1040 Triton, operating in the G-band, range 18 nautical miles for a 2 meter squared target. Navigation, Recall Deca 616, operating in the I-band. Fire control, Pollux, operating in the I and J-band, range 17 nautical miles for a 2 meter squared target. For our active, the Perdana, the Sarang, the Ganas, and the Gang. Here we can see 3D view, the photo. Now we can see the 3D view. And yeah, it's just another export of the French Combatant 2 class fast attack craft, which actually don't seem to be that fast based on this entry, but... And finally, we have the links. Publication Jane's Fighting Ships, Section Shipborne Aircraft, Country Malaysia and Pakistan. Title: links at HAS-3. Specifications: operational speed 120 knots, service ceiling 10,000 feet, range 320 nautical miles, armaments, weapons, ASW-2 Type 244/S torpedoes. For the anti-surface vessel role, they have 2 12.7mm machine gun pods, and for sensors, they have the Sea Spray radar and Orange Crop ESM. Here we can see a picture of one, and here is the 3D model. And that will be it for today. So with that, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for next time, and stay safe out there, and we'll see you then.